tell the good jokes.
Alvin, all our guys, catch me with the
I'll give you a fishing story. I was thinking about. I got a ton, and seems like my favorite ones are always like more like the fishing mishap stories. So you'll enjoy this one. Yeah, this was kind of up in your neck of the woods, in Yellowstone area of Montana, Wyoming, and I went with a couple of buddies. It was right when the fly shop I used to manage closed down in '04, and me and our last employee had like unlimited time to go fishing. So we were exploring all over Wyoming and Montana. I mean, we're talking like weeks at a time. And at one point, we go into Jackson. One of the guys I used to work with, Scott Sanchez, was still working there. He's the guy that invented the double bunny. And we're like, where else can we fish? Like, we have fished so many places. Send us somewhere that we don't know anything about. And so Scott suggested we go and float and fish the Salt and the Grays. And I can't remember which one we were on. It was either the Salt or the Grays. And he gave us a number for a shuttle. There was only one person in town that did a shuttle over there. It was real. It was near Alpine Junction, which I don't remember if that's. I believe that's in Idaho, not Wyoming. Anyway, we call the lady that does the shuttle, set everything up, and she says, "Okay, well, you guys are going to put in at that one spot, and then when you get to the big metal bridge, pull out on the right, and you'll see your truck there." Typical. Nothing that we do it all every day. Just set up a shuttle, do a trip. So anyway, we launch the boat. We take off. Fishing's great. We're catching cutthroat left and right. Just beautiful little valley. Neither one of us had ever seen this river ever before, but it's pretty mellow, so there weren't any real hazards. We all felt pretty comfortable rowing, just having a good old time. Me and a couple of good buddies, and all of a sudden, like maybe 3 hours in, we come to this bridge, and it's like not a metal bridge, but it was maybe concrete and metal. So we're thinking like, oh man, maybe this is it. So we get out and we look around, and we don't see a parking spot. We don't see my truck, obviously, and we're thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe this is not the spot. We ask somebody like, hey, where's such and such spot? And they're like, oh yeah, you got a little ways to go. So we're like, oh great, this is good because fishing's good. We don't want to be done so early. So we keep going, we cross under a couple more bridges. We don't ever see the big metal bridge that the shuttle lady had told us about. And we just keep going. And then all of a sudden, it's like the landscape completely changes. And we're catching fish on every cast. I mean, like we're doubling up, like, we're like pretty much doubled up. Like every time a fly hits the water, it gets eaten. And I'm thinking, this is kind of weird because fishing was good, but all of a sudden it's just like super good. And then I see this body of water that the river is flowing into. And I'm like, all right, guys, this is the Snake River. We have passed our takeout. Yeah. And they're like, no way. And we actually start going down the Snake until I convince them, like, no, guys, we got to get out. We're lost. We passed the last takeout. So we get the boat and we kind of drag it upstream, up the Snake River, and we park. And we leave one of the guys with the boat, and me and the other guy hike up out of the canyon, and we can see town. It's not too far away, but it's definitely, we're not walking to town. And, we can sort of see where the boat is down at the bottom of the canyon, but it's a pretty good ways away. So we finally get to somewhere we get a cell signal. We call the lady that shuttled us, and we had to convince her to get our truck and bring it to us, even though she was going to have to miss her AA meeting that night. We're like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we're like, we never saw a big metal bridge. So she's like, well, oh, I hadn't been over there in a while. I guess it's a concrete bridge. so she gets the truck, and we make it out to the highway, and we flag her down, and then we drive the truck as far as we can up this road until we're like, okay, this is as close as we're going to be able to get to where the boat is. So me and my buddy, we hike down to the boat. Our other buddy started a signal fire at this point because it's dark. And we get to him. My buddy looks at his watch and he's like, well, that took us 10 minutes to get from where the truck was to the boat. And I was like, yeah, but we were going downhill empty handed. So I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours later, we have the boat. We had to completely disassemble the raft. But fortunately, it was a raft. We had it completely disassembled, back on the trailer. We're drinking a couple of cold beers, and we all are like, okay, so if we would have known beforehand what was going to happen, would those 2 miles of amazing fishing have been worth it? And we were like, yes, it was worth it, but no, we wouldn't ever do it again on purpose. So